What's going on, guys? My name's Alex, and I just wanted to make a video because I recently stumbled upon some material regarding a vegan diet. And yesterday, just to be frank, I ate bacon, egg, and cheese on a bagel, some coffee with milk, some steak, some other junk food probably. And I'm by no means a vegan, or do I particularly care for everything about the vegan lifestyle. However, I've been trying to become more healthy, and I do believe that nutrition is a very important part of our life, and it has a lot to do with our entire existence, including our ways that we can enjoy life and how our body runs. So, before maybe a few weeks ago, I was trying to be healthy by eating foods that were recommended by Dr. Mark Hyman from the Ultramind Solution. Now, I was not fully engaged with the diet, but I definitely was eating a lot of good choices, mostly organic foods, and I still wasn't really getting exactly what I wanted because I wanted to get that real, healthy feeling of just so much energy and that sort of a thing. A lot of energy, good mental function, things like that. I wasn't really experiencing that, but again, I wasn't fully engaged in the diet. I wasn't doing it completely right. So now I sort of, found out about this vegan stuff, and I know that probably it's not an optimal diet if we're talking about like what's really like the optimal diet for a human being. But I think that I would like to give it a try, and also I would like to figure out a way that I can get all the essential nutrients that you would be getting from a non-vegetarian diet, which includes meat, and map that into a vegan diet so that you're not losing anything. Now, I know there are going to be some things that are going to be hard to get, so it's possible that there will need to be some supplementation from maybe something like B12. I don't know exactly if it can be gotten properly from vegan or not. I have to do some research. I haven't done any research yet, or enough. But I just wanted to sort of make this video to kind of introduce that I'm going to be trying this out. I don't want to psych myself out and say I'm going to be like this forever. I don't want to say that like the animal cruelty is like my main concern, because I do feel bad for the animals. I watched a couple of videos and I saw how they're being very badly treated inside the factories. Um, but right now it's for my mental health because it's been depreciating, especially in the past like few months. Like I've been noticing it. I've been having trouble remembering stuff, and there could be several reasons for that other than diet. But I think that having a solid foundation, like having a good diet, is going to be one of the factors that I can eliminate in case I still am having issues. That probably won't be the case as long as, again, I'm getting like the proper nutrients, because I think that you could go on a vegan diet and you could be deficient in a lot of nutrients, and that could also cause um, problems with your brain function. So I'm not gonna, I don't want to have like that many factors that could be causing this problem that I believe that I have. So, and I'm a very technical person, so I have to understand everything. I have to do the research. There's a lot of things I don't know, and I'm not afraid to not know something, or I'll probably be wrong about things. And I've had many different ideas that I've believed before, and I probably have changed my mind or opinion about it. So I change my opinions a lot, and I change my mind a lot. I don't have very strong opinions, but I do get a lot of ideas, and I do get affected by them, but I eventually change my mind about things. So I don't know if that's good or bad, but that's sort of just how I am right now. Maybe I'm just haven't found what I'm looking for yet. But anyway, I just want to share what I got today. Like today, I'm at home at my mom's house, and because I wanted to eat vegan, I decided I'd just go downstairs and just pick out some vegan food, like what I think is vegan, and foods that aren't that bad, that you can eat. So I'll just show you what I grabbed. I've been eating this already, so it sort of doesn't look that good, but this is spaghetti with black beans and onions and hot sauce. So spaghetti does have gluten, which I don't think is good, and I wouldn't want to actually have it as a staple in a vegan diet. So eventually I would be eliminating that, but for now I think it's okay to have it because I do like gluten foods like bread, all that kind of stuff. Of course I like it, but I don't think it's that good. So just to try to ease into the diet, it would be okay to have stuff like that. Also right here I got some some frozen vegetables, and I put coconut oil in there and put it in the microwave. Now, actually, I microwave both these, and that's another thing. I don't think microwaving is that good because it actually could possibly change the molecules of the food. So that would not be an optimal thing in a vegan diet. But anyway, this is actually a pretty good solution. You got and these are organic vegetables, and this is probably organic coconut oil. So I think organic is better. It's more expensive, but it's probably better. That could be researched a little bit more. But generally, I believe that's the case. Probably local foods are even better, but sometimes you have to get organic. But anyway, those are different topics I actually would like to look more into so we can have a better understanding of the food we're eating, like from start to finish. And yeah. Another thing I grabbed was this blue chips that were already open. There's some left. And they're, they're not great. Like, these are processed foods anyway, but they taste pretty good. They're not like the worst things in this category, but I do like chips. Then I grabbed gluten-free pretzels, and they say they're dairy-free, casein-free, and egg-free. So that could be something that's in pretzels, other pretzels, I don't know. But they're a little bit dry, or a little hard. I don't know if you can hear, but they're pretty dry. So yeah, those are the pretzels. And I got some avocado hummus, which I had last week, and it's not like my favorite type of hummus, but I do like hummus. So I'm just gonna have a little bit. So as you can see, I got some pretty good foods. Wasn't that hard to find. Now, are they mostly carbs? Yes, they're mostly carbs, right? So that's a problem, and I think that's going to be a main issue with vegan food is you're just going to be getting mostly carbs. But I threw in the coconut oil, so that's the fat, and remember the coconut oil fat is 9 calories per gram, whereas carbs and proteins are 4 calories per gram. So it's a lot more dense. So you're actually adding a lot more calories from the coconut oil than it would appear. And also vegetables are mostly water and very few calories. So although the majority is vegetables in volume, by calories, it's going to be the coconut oil. Anyhow, there's definitely lacking of protein. I think there must be a lack of protein. Now, there are the beans. I could do a little bit of calculations, but it says the pretzels, 0 calories of protein, 0 grams of protein per serving. The hummus, let's see, what does this say? 2 grams of protein per 2 tablespoon size serving, so 2 grams of protein per 28 grams. So it doesn't seem that good. Spaghetti, I don't know. Beans, I'm not sure, but beans are pretty okay. And that's pretty much it. So if, I'm going to be designing a vegan diet that is for someone that is into fitness, which I'm trying to be more into fitness. Like, I've been working out, not very much lately, but I do think that working out is an important part of my life, and I feel a lot better doing it. This is how big I am right now. It's hard to see, but, I'm okay. But, again, it's really not that important. What should be more important is, feeling good, being fit, being able to do a lot of cardio, and being able to, if you need to be fit for some type of a situation, you should be able to do that. You should be able to run very far. If you need to, you should be able to, play, jump, run, be happy, those type of things. Like animals. So, that's more important for me than aesthetics should be, although, we have like that issue right now about trying to look as good as possible. So it's like sort of like something that tears me up a little bit. But again, it's, the more important thing is not to care is that much about, your outer appearance as much as your inner self and, how you feel inside. And, the way you are inside is really your perception of the world. So say you're like, healthy, a little bit thinner and not as muscular, but you're just more happy and have a better outlook on life, you're going to have a much better experience, and people are going to like you better than if you look better on the outside maybe, but your inside is full of shit and bullshit in your head. And that sort of a thing. So overall, if you're caring too much about, your looks, then it's really gonna be leading to unhappiness. somehow, because if you care about what other people think, then you're waiting for other people to say something about you look or something like that. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I mean, it does, but whatever. Um, so I don't know if I talked about this in this video. I already tried making a video before, but there was no audio, so that's why maybe I sound a little bit more clear than the last one. But I'm going to try and figure out what are some healthy bodybuilding non-vegetarian diets, get all the micronutrients, macronutrients, and phytonutrients, and what other nutrient type things that are in this food that are healthy, that make it complete, and maybe get a couple of meals, maybe even get a week's worth of meals. Calculate, how many protein, calories I want, carbohydrates, and fats, and how much of those things I want. And then try to map it into a vegan diet, which includes mostly whole foods that I like. One of the things I don't like about vegan diets is a lot of them consist of a lot of protein powders that are like vegan protein powders, and also those fake vegan foods like those hot dogs and burgers and stuff, which I don't want to have to be relying on, because I feel like if I'm going to be eating that, then I might as well just be eating like really, high quality meat. So anyway, again, like, there's a whole dilemma of like, I'm not really vegan, so I don't really have like those strong ideals, like those cares where I would rather, put, those processed burgers and stuff into my body than, what would I think would be grass-fed, which I would hope are more humanely, killed, I guess. I don't know, like however they raise these other cows. Like, I'm sure there's cows that live pretty good lives. But again, once it's easy to say like, oh, I only eat grass-fed meat, but it's like, once you go down the road of eating meat, then you're gonna be just like very easily persuaded to eat just any type of meat, and those types of meats are actually, gotten by those really bad factory farms where they torture the animals, and the people that work there are like, sick people. So, you gotta be pretty sick in the head to be like able to torture animals that way that they do. And I've only seen a little bit of the footage, a little bit of the propaganda. I haven't seen all of it, but I would pretty much have to imagine that it's very, very horrible. So we have to care, but it's good to care about animals, and if we want to actually be happy, because we're all sad in some ways. I probably have a lot of problems. Like sometimes I get very sad, and I don't know why, or I do know why, and it's bullshit. But leading bullshit lives and doing things that are bad for the world, although we can easily forget about them or put them away, is going to somehow be inside of us no matter what. So it'd be better to not have to deal with that. We can't be perfect, though, but we can try. And, eating unhealthy food is pretty much just a form of laziness and addiction to that type of food. So we have to figure out a way that we cannot be lazy, and hopefully having a very healthy diet that doesn't take a lot of toll on our bodies would actually give us energy. Because look, I'm 24 years old. I should have a shitload of energy. I shouldn't need any stimulants, but sometimes I'm very tired all the time, and it's just like, it doesn't make any sense. I shouldn't be tired. I should have tons of energy. I should be running around and like just being a maniac practically. So, hopefully having a healthy diet will give me the energy and motivation to continue with this diet, which is hard. And maybe eventually it will not become so hard. If I figure out the whole nutrient ratio type thing, and can enjoy the food, or at least don't think about eating other foods, or as long as I feel satiated. So anyway, I just think I didn't say this yet, but I know the video's getting long, but it's okay. I just wanted to discuss the foods that I would like to be eating. I think that a lot of greens, a lot of dark greens are going to be very important. A lot of fruits and vegetables, like any types of fruits and vegetables really, but like dark greens are like the most nutrient dense foods that you can eat. And then fruits, all different types of fruits that you can eat. I know like berries are the most probably the most nutrient dense foods in that manner. Like there's a lot of different fruits you can have. Organic is definitely better. I have a blender, so I'm gonna probably be like putting those in the blender with vegetables and fruit and that kind of stuff. So those are, vegetables, carbs. So then we need to get into like fats. Like my favorite fats are going to be avocados and coconut oil and then there's also flax, which I think is omega-3, which is something that you have to be careful of getting enough of when you're eating like this. Then let's see, what else is there? There's going to be our protein, right? That's our number one thing that we have to care about. So protein sources that are sort of protein, but they're still not fully. Legumes like lentils are really good. Our peas, split peas are very good. They have a lot of protein. Those things. I don't think they're complete proteins. Then we have quinoa, which actually I think is a complete protein, and it's like a carb as well. It's like a rice substitute. And then there's also something called amaranth, which is like quinoa. And the way I kind of like correlate this is like quinoa can sort of replace rice, and amaranth can sort of replace oatmeal. And they're both complete proteins. Amaranth is very healthy. And so those are proteins, but they're not like, there's something wrong with them. So like, there's gonna be like those fake vegan foods, and I don't want to have to eat vegan protein powder. I hate vegan protein powder. I've tried it before. Like, it's just so annoying. It's just like, that's one of the things that makes you want to like not even eat it. So like aside from that, I mean, those are good foods no matter what. All the ones that I mentioned in any diet, but those are going to have to be very staples in the vegan diet, and I should try to be able to cook them in, not from a can, like get all the different types of beans, which are really good, and I don't mind eating them. Cook them, the dried beans, like in a cooker or something like that. So anyhow, I think I'm going to stop this video now because I'm probably going to get off topic and repeat myself. But hopefully I can continue with like this sort of like journey into this idea that I have. Just trying to figure out a vegan diet that's not really annoying, and also like learn a lot about this type of nutrition, and just be better at nutrition, and be more on top of, like, just more organized and more strict with myself. Not letting myself get influenced by other people. Because that's the main issue when we're dealing with food, is there's going to be a lot of other people that are going to want you to eat foods that are not what you want to be eating. So anyhow, yeah, so I'm just going to talk to you guys later.